Hello and welcome, I am your host, Dam the Bing T, and we're playing Blade and Sword. The intro you just saw sums up the game perfectly. It's dark, it's brutal, and it doesn't make much sense. And I can bet that you have never heard of this game before, because I seem to be the first person to ever make a playthrough of it. Well, I saw a couple Russian playthroughs and I think one Polish one, but none in English. So I'll talk a lot, at least in this first episode, because I want to cover this game as in depth as possible. So, me and this game have a lot of story. I remember when I was little, my dad used to play it, and I just watched how he played it. And the funny thing was that we had the original Chinese version. Of course, it's a Chinese game, and we couldn't understand anything that was written, so my dad accidentally played it on the hardest mode. And believe me, it was frustrating as hell. But we made it to the end. And now I managed to get an English version. Somehow. So it will be a lot of new stuff for me as well. I'll try to find and cover as much lore as possible. But this game is not really about stories or anything. It's pretty much Diablo 2. It looks very much like Diablo 2, but it's in ancient China and with samurais and anthropomorphic monsters that you have to kill instead of demons. Well, there are demons as well. So let's press new game. And we have three classes. We have a Samurai Jack wannabe, which is my least favorite playable character. It just doesn't feel fun for me. We have this dude which looks exactly like Chinggis Khan. And then we have a lady that most likely just ran out of a kitchen with her meat knives. Well, I wouldn't be so much against woman playable characters in game. I know it might have sounded offensive, my statement, but come on, it's ancient China. I'm pretty sure women didn't go to a war. So I'll choose my favorite character, the big dude. And what could be his name? Well, in game he looks kinda like a buff Russell Crowe, so he might be buff Crowman. That will do. And I guess we'll play at normal difficulty. I am tempted to choose easy, but a lot of enemies are just damage sponges. It's not really interesting to fight them, but I'll go with normal. Okay, chapter 1. In ages past, during the final critical moments of Emperor Wu's crusade against country, Zhou Ziya-Jin, the Prime Minister for Country Drew, led the main army to the rampart gate and heard that the Reaching Star building had caught fire. Emperor Zhou, the mortal enemy of Wu, stood on top of the building, looking out into the distance with a face distorted by resentment, for he knew his supreme dominance would soon end, although he realized that was the final destiny of his long-rule regime. Joe could still not drive the idea of revenge from his mind. Wearing his grandest robes and golden crown, Emperor Joe set his favorite building on fire, while he himself was inside, surrounded by the strong smoke. Joe's face was vague and blurry, yet no one could escape from the horrific howls that filled the air. Suddenly the throngs of people below saw sudden flarings of light above his head, which suddenly vanished into the darkness together with Joe. At the same time, the voice broke the silence. Revenge and something I didn't manage to read it fast enough. I'm sorry. Okay, can I start the game, please? So that was a big wall of text with not that important information. And so this is us. And you can already tell if you have played Diablo 2, it looks very similar. We have our potions and at the bottom we have throwable objects in the other line. That's a new function. And what's different to this game from Diablo 2 is that you don't rely on equipment that much. You rather, it's a more like this game is like a strange combination between Diablo style games and fighting games that are really popular in Asia, because you have to make combos from your kung fu moves and stuff. It's real fun, you'll see. The best things about this game is its combat system and the soundtrack, which is, let's say, top notch. It's very atmospheric. This almost feels post-apocalyptic, I'd say, this game, even though it's more of a historic game based on ancient China. The monsters outside are growing in numbers. We need new supplies, but who would dare to go out alone? Even now, there are still people being killed by those damn devils. What terrible karma we must be paying off for the life we live now. The old doctor in town has been gone for days collecting medical herbs. I certainly hope she soon comes back safely. Warrior, if you see her, please take good care of her. She is an extremely valued member of this community. So we have our first quest. And believe me, when me and my father were playing this game in Chinese, it was so hard to figure out what to do. It's unbelievable. I'm surprised we even managed to press to the end of the game. I don't know, I still haven't finished Hard Rock Apocalypse series, and don't worry, I'll upload new episodes. I just felt like playing this game. You know, sometimes you just have a feeling that you have to do something, and you put everything else aside and just do it. So, Gong Shuban, what's up with you? Warrior, you're a stranger here. Be on guard at all times. This is a dangerous area. Monsters have been seen everywhere. You might even run into a group of corpses on the forest path ahead. If you don't believe me, just ask the survivors around the village gate. Anyway, perhaps your fighting skills aren't too bad. If you insist on traveling outside the village, please help find my wooden eagle on the forest path. I would be so very grateful. Well, warrior, remember to watch yourself out there. If you ever find yourself nowhere ahead, make your way back to the village. Maybe I could also get someone to help out. And I think this game was released in 2003, and for the time the graphics look quite outdated, I'd say. But the art style is surprisingly good. Everything is pretty much hand-drawn. Yeah, and I can respect that. It's technically a poorly made game, but it has so good atmosphere. It's crazy good, you'll see. Okay, we have our first enemies. Okay, we can dodge their attacks. We can also defend. But dodging is a bit more useful in most cases. And you can see combo numbers on the left side of the screen. Enemy health bars at the top. Oh yeah, basically if you have played Diablo 2, this will instantly be very familiar to you. But there will be quite a lot of things that you'll still have to learn. Well, now we don't have any spells, but we have Jump. It uses Ki instead of mana, because it's China, and we can jump quite far. And I usually don't really like stuff based on Asian culture, especially enemies and stuff. But this one is so good. It doesn't look too Asian, even. It looks very Western. It's quite unusual that a game based on China is so dark and brutal. Usually such games are a lot more colorful. And just look at those wolves. They're one of my favorite enemies. Their design is so cool. I love them. And I guess if you hate furries, this is also a game just for you, because there are a lot of anthropomorphic creatures in this game. And just listen to the soundtrack. Even after, what, around 15 years later, it still sends chills down my back. Just look how brutal it is. I just dismember my enemies, I cut them into half, cut their limbs off. It's brutal. I'll try to cut this series as little as possible, so people could use them as a walkthrough, because it can be a bit confusing sometimes on what are you supposed to do, and this is only playthrough in English so far. But this game shouldn't be too long, since I know pretty well what to do. And if you're wondering what's different about the three classes, it's basically their movesets, but this warrior that I chose is the slowest of all characters, but he attacks the hardest. And it's hardest to achieve a big combo with him, but it's not important. The samurai in the middle was, well, he was your standard guy, and the woman was the quick rogue type character, but she doesn't hit that hard. But she's very good at combos. I like how the wolves are patrolling the area. And just look, I've cut one wolf's arm off and he's still fighting. How brutal is that? Yeah, I can throw rocks or something if I choose this, and then right click. It doesn't take a lot of rocks to defeat a zombie, it seems. And I can see how much flawed this game is, but I'd still say that it's extremely underrated. It's almost impossible to find any information about this game online. I think I can get my first spell. This is a good one to start with. And what it does is this: you can lift enemies in the air now. Don't throw up on me, you bastard. Okay, we don't want to get hit by that green zombie because he might poison us. Yeah, and the key to catch those treasure goblins is to drop something and then wait till he runs to pick up that item. Otherwise it can be real tricky. Well, I think you can catch those guys with a female character. She runs a lot faster. But with this guy, no chance. It's a lot more fun when there are more enemies around. Oh, and I'm quite injured, and I have no health potions. I should be careful. Okay, how much money have I got? Not that much. I'd say I could buy health potions, but I can't really afford them. But I think okay. We have the wooden eagle, so maybe we'll get some money for that. And this is a portal that we can open anywhere. To go to the town and back. Oh, my wooden eagle! Thank you so very much for bringing it back, warrior. I really didn't want to have to build it all over again. Well, my dear warrior, please accept these throwing weapons as a small token of my gratitude. You never know, they might come in handy as you travel alone. I don't really need those. Yeah, I'd say we could learn this skill, but we don't really need it. At least I don't really need it. So we'll save our points to get something else. And yeah, you can make 4 combos, which are sets of kung fu attacks that automatically follow each other in a certain order that we set them. Yeah, and I like the journal in this game. It doesn't only show what quests I have, but it also has descriptions of all items in the game that you have found, and there's some lore about all the enemies that you meet. So let's read some lore. I'm pretty interested myself, since I would never read them before. Okay, so this is our standard zombie called Corpse. After normal people die, their bodies will gradually decompose and be returned to the earth. If anything prevents this natural process from occurring, the dead will change into a terrible monster instead. This creature will possess no consciousness of its own, simply chasing any living creature as it sees. If you are wounded by one, you may become poisoned as well, and slowly begin turning into a corpse yourself. They are very sensitive to the presence of living creatures. Although their movement is rigid and sluggish, corpses are powerful and can spit poison. Well, these are pretty standard zombies. And Bow Demon. Now this guy seems quite interesting. He has a bit of afro going on. Bow demons are also inhabitants of the demon realm. With their gigantic bodies, feral nature, and tough hide, they are often used as the main force of any army from that realm. Although they are pure demons, they possess human behavior and thought. Utilizing large shields and wolf teeth rods, they are good at both attack and defense. They are even more dangerous when provoked into a frenzy. The evil wolf. I love the design of this guy. Okay, so for some reason it says Pikeman Evil Wolf here. Evil wolves are the vanguard of the demon realm armies, and the earliest devil to appear in the world. Werewolves transform into evil wolves when the moon is right, giving full play to their brutal nature. With their long spears, evil wolves can attack from far away or up close. They are weak when by themselves, but can be quite formidable when in groups. What exactly is different between a werewolf and an evil wolf? I guess werewolf is just a wild creature, but it's not like we ever meet those werewolves mentioned here in the game, only evil wolves. And thief ghost. So the ghosts are basically goblins in this game. Thief ghosts play a special role in the demon realm. Although they are very greedy and are particularly interested in objects dropped on the ground, they are unable to hurt anybody or even take something from someone's possession. They always appear when there are dangerous creatures about, and they scavenge anything that might be dropped by the dead. They are speedy and agile, and are not easy to catch, but without any fighting ability, thief ghosts will drop whatever they are carrying and run away if attacked. Okay, so this guy should sell me health potions, but he doesn't sell much of them. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's proceed then. Should be careful then. Yeah, this area is going to be a bit larger than the previous one. Let's explore a bit. I know most of these maps by memory pretty well, so I know where the loot is and where are which enemies. They all spawn in the same places. Okay, we should be careful here, because there are going to be 5 dudes coming to this place. So it's quite dangerous. Okay, here they are. This is going to be quite a battle. Okay, we leveled up. Oh, look at that guy flailing around by himself. noise. Okay, we have a lot of dead bodies here. Okay, let's proceed to robbing this graveyard. Let's just open the graves, why not? I like how all the caskets are bloody. It gives quite a nice vibe, doesn't it? Most of the houses in the game are ruined. As I mentioned, it almost feels post-apocalyptic. And I can't help but love this dark atmosphere. And yeah, the sound effects are quite repetitive. Okay, he doesn't have a weapon anymore. Okay, so we can learn some new skills. How many points? We have not that much. We won't really use those two skills, but we want the third ones. So we'll have to learn them anyway, but I guess this will be quite useful right now. Quite passive skill. And one thing I want to mention, if we won't really get any equipment in this game like in Diablo games, instead we are getting these precious stones, and we can give them to our blacksmith and he'll make us some equipment. So we won't look the same as now for the whole game, and it will give us some benefits in stats. Previously I enjoyed the Diablo equipment system more, but now that I understand it better, this one is also acceptable. Okay, we have a portal here, we want to visit it so we can use it later. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. Hey, we really need more key energy, because we get low on it quite quickly. And the reason there are a couple playthroughs in Russian and Polish is because this game is also localized in Russian language, and there's not a big market for games in Russian, so it probably got a bit more attention than in the rest of the world. That's basically how me and my father got hands on this game. Okay, now the first boss fight in the game. The Power Demon. These yellow guys are dangerous as well. Listen to that soundtrack! It's so intense! I love it. I hit a tree with his head. What a dumbass. Okay, we dismantled one wolf. Let's deal with the little guys first. Oh, as you can see, this game is a lot more action-oriented than Diablo. You have to make combos and dodge enemies' attacks. You don't have to rely on the equipment that much. It's more skill-based. Come on, come here. We have to be careful, because when we knock him down, he is invulnerable for a couple seconds. So we cannot just stand nearby always. Nice. Okay, he hasn't got his left arm anymore. Therefore, he has no weapon anymore. He still has his shield though. Look, the dead bodies are twitching sometimes. That's a nice little touch. Stop kicking. I wonder how he doesn't bleed out. Well, I guess he's a demon. Look at those dead bodies lying around. Okay, we've defeated him. And here's our doctor, Dr. Shin, or Chin. Oh, thank you, my lord. Since more and more people are being affected by the poison from the corpses, I've had to come out more often and look for useful medical Medicinal supplies. God, I am so scared. Oh yes. Graver Shen accompanied me, but we were separated by the sudden attack of those evil creatures. He must be somewhere up ahead. Please help him. I know nothing outside of medicine, so my lord, I have nothing to thank you with, but this Jedi amulet, please accept it. And she's back in town right now. Look, we can even kick the bones around. How cool is that? Let's go back to town. See if anyone has anything to tell. So Dr. Chin's here now. She can heal us and sell health potions. No, nobody has anything to tell. Let's proceed then. Why did you just shout randomly? Hey, grave diggers. Now these are nasty fellas. They have a lot of health and a lot of moves. And they're very quick actually. And here we have some explosive zombies. Their name is pretty self-explanatory. And none of them seem to have heads. We have some dogs, which are just an annoyance, because they do pretty much nothing. Okay, we have a treasure goblin. We need to find something to loot. Those zombies don't drop anything. Where is that guy? Come here, you. Come on, I know you want it. Strange. Nice. I guess I'll run quickly through the zone, because there's nothing much of importance here, except some annoying enemies. It's quite a large zone. I like that the explosive zombies can damage other enemies. Not a lot of other games do that. Okay, and we are going in this cave. Right here. 12th Tomb. Now listen to that soundtrack. I love it. So good. I don't even think if there is a soundtrack on the internet anywhere of this game. Maybe I should upload it. Because game files already have it in MP3 format. So why the hell not? Because it's a brilliant score. And here we can stomp on rats. That's a nice little detail. There's also a mission where you have to stomp on all rats in a time limit. And that was nice. Okay, and here's Greater Shin. Johanna, thank you so much for saving my life. I found the entrance to the tomb, and I went in to see if there were any jewels. God, there were so many monsters. I became terrified and hid until you came along and saved me. I must return to the village first. I'll fulfill my obligation later. So here we've saved another dude. We can proceed to the next zone. Ah, and here we have another teleport. Okay, what's up? Thanks for saving me, Your Honor. Without your help I would have ended up as a corpse buried in that devil tomb. You are my savior, my master. This is my spagyric cube for refining gems. I found it in the 12th tomb. It might be useful to you. For a hero like you, maybe it is not so convenient to be carrying it around. Why don't I hold on to it for you? Just let me know whenever you might need it. So it's basically the Radar Cube from Diablo. And this is the place where we can combine our precious stones and potions to make them into more potent ones. Anything else, Gongshuan? What do you have to tell? Warrior, you are skillful. I have seen many martial artists using broadsword before, but you might be The best one I've ever seen. However, I noticed your weapon is a bit weak. Warrior, if you meet my good friend Smith O, you might want to ask him about his secrets for strengthening weapons. I believe he might be able to help you. I will do that. But I'm playing for quite a long time now. Let's read our journal for some more about the enemies then. Hey, grave diggers. Those guys look like they're wearing diapers. And this particular drawing was always real funny to me. Let's look. They have this little bag on their backs, and it has some blades sticking out right between his legs, and it seems as if one of the blades poked his ball, one of his balls, and so he's screaming so much. Look at his face. You know, his diaper is a bit bloody. Okay, Gravedigger. A wild, powerful creature from the demon realm. The Gravediggers kill quickly and easily. They are named for their fondness of digging up old graves to extract cadaver gases and to steal any treasure that might be buried alongside the dead. Being an apparition, they are more dangerous than other creatures. They attack with precision, sometimes making it almost impossible to defend against. They are very agile and possess two deadly abilities. One is their flying sickle and the other is repeated attack using their pickaxe, which quickly tires the defender. Okay, we're going to meet some tiger cats in the next zone. Controlled by the demon realm, tiger cats are disgusting creatures that are very smart and know how to use a wide array of fighting techniques. In addition to their quick speeds, they often attack effectively in groups, confusing their opponents. Although their attacks and defense are not too strong, they are still very dangerous due to their speed and teamwork. Hellhound. When the world faces the chaos caused by war or famine, the masses have no means to live, and thousands perish. Wild dogs with new sources of food change into savage beasts. Nowadays, corpses are littered throughout the lands. The dogs feed well on the poisoned corpses as well, which infect them, transforming them into the much more frightening hellhound. Due to their original canine abilities, they can easily smell strangers and group up to attack quickly. And I guess that's it for this time, for this episode. Time flies quite quickly. We haven't played much yet. We'll see how much of the game is left. We already covered quite a big part of the map. I'd say it will take maybe 2 more episodes to finish chapter 1, and there are 3 chapters in total. So I've been your host, Dam the Big D. We've been playing Blade and Sword. See you in the next episode.